Hello and welcome everyone to episode 22 of our podcast. In this episode, we'll talk about the Vyry vision. I'm with Tommaso Bartolo, the founder and CEO of Digital, the startup laying the building blocks of spatial experience. How are you doing today, Tommaso?
Romeo, so good to have you. I'm doing phenomenal, like a still a pond, on the surface, calm, but full of energy beneath and full of moving and shaking parts. What you said, we are talking about what today?
Yeah, amazing. So, as I said, I want to talk about Vyry's vision, the pillars on which the foundation lies. The three primary pillars, as I see it, are democratizing experiences, community of co-creators, being truly digitally social. So let's go one by one and break down the purposes or roles of each of these pillars. Let's start with a democratizing experience and what it means.
Um, in simple terms, the democratization of experience is happening right now because and we only understand it when we define first experience. Right? What means experience nowadays? Experience is the moment where you have a wow moment, and usually, in order to have a wow moment as a human being, you always have two, three ingredients that collide. Usually, it's at a location, there is an event, and in most cases that event was actually you had to pay for. It's a concert, is city hopping, or it's a restaurant, or it's and then the third ingredients, you do it as a group, because doing something alone, it really doesn't become an emotional thing. So experience is really this constellation of a location with an event, right? And you paid for, and with a group, right? And that becomes remarkable. That becomes a memorabilia. As it stays in your mind. Right now, um, these experiences, since we ever since have defined the word experiences, were always available to those who have the means, meaning you pay for it. You want to go to a beautiful day at Disney World, well, you have to pay a lot of money. You want to have an amazing dinner experience, or culinary kitchen, or a tennis game, but usually you pay for it, right? And that forces to make experiences always available to those who have the funds. No, meaning, the minority of the people, and the majority, especially the next generation, students and young minds, right? They don't have that, and they don't have those funds. So what are they forced to do? They are forced to use whatever is available to them, right? And I was just thinking, how they want to put it, but ultimately it's they're really pushed into use social media and use gaming, right? And that has led to a point where, yeah, it was fun as long as it lasted, right? And yes, with all respect, games are fun, and the most of games are played. There are only a couple of games that are really played, and most of them are failing, right? And social media, yes, we get entertained, but doom scrolling and anxiety, right, is on the rise. Well, why are you completely describing that for the democratization of experience? Because we truly believe that it is time to make experiences available to everyone. Actually, it is really time to empower the end user to create experiences anytime, anywhere. And that's exactly where Vyry come into place, right? That you can convert any location and any topic into an ad hoc experience by adding a layer of information on top of the real world, and that becomes interactive. Right? And that's how we are thinking of democratizing experience. We are empowering the students on campus to digitalize assets from the real life, converting those into mini quests. And those quests become the experience because they're group oriented, location based, and activities that are highly creative and playful. Welcome to the next generation of experiences.
That sounds beautiful. Actually, I like how you put it. Like essentially, um, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they don't have access to the funds. They don't have access to the resources. So essentially, they are compelled to use whatever they have in hand, which is obviously their phone and their gaming setup, and that's what they're doing for like hours and hours. It's not. I won't say it's by choice. It's they're just being forced to do it because they don't have any other recourse.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I think that we are very thankful about the evolution of the last 25 years of anything that has been social, anything that has been mobile, right? That has been phenomenal, right? The only thing is that social and mobile was just simply built for a different generation. generation millennials, right, Gen Y, and by now the baby boomers are even, when I as an innovator and entrepreneur start understanding where there is an urge for something that is new and not categorized, when the second last generation understands the last innovation. So the moment that I see my grandma on Facebook, I say, and
Uh-huh.
on Instagram and on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Because it is no longer innovation; it's basically utility, right? You understand? You
Yeah.
swipe. Everyone is used to a mobile phone, right? You say, okay, now this topic is marginally. It has achieved its peak of understanding of the majority, and now something new is coming, and the new is truly new. It's not an evolution. It's not, I was swiping TikTok bottom up and now I'm swiping TikTok left to right. No, 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 no. It's something that we have not seen before, right? It's truly this is a horse and this is a car. What is it? A car? Yes, that's a car. It has wheels, right? It takes you also from A to B, right? Does it make sense? That's how we are thinking of innovation.
Yeah, right, right. You're exactly right. Because Facebook is already 20 to 23 years old, and Instagram and TikTok are just basically reiteration of that same like, comment, follow, subscribe model, right?
Same
We
behavior, absolutely. Nothing built for the next generation. And the next generation, what we have understood, have different urges, and at the same time, we have technology evolutions, right? So
yeah,
just trying to create something that is existing, right, is simply the wrong approach, right? That's where we're breaking patterns, activities, and technologies are truly shaping new industries, right?
yeah, yeah, and that's exactly where we come to Vyry's second pillar, which is a community of co-creators. You think the process of co-creation is going to be the next step in this social innovation? Can you break it down, please?
In all fairness, right? This topic of co-creation, right, or the role as a co-creator for users, right, that has been there already since the technology that has been able to empower users to create and edit pictures or create and edit videos. So let's go from a file perspective, videos and images, right? So, okay, great. Now we are all creating something, right? The creator, on Twitch, it's the creator. Now you go on Roblox, right? And you can create something that is on a screen, right? And what is it you create? You create assets, start creating environments, right? And then you can invite others, you create entire games if you are game developers, right? So, and then you can monetize that, right? And that's great too, right? These are more immersive, these are more collaborative, right? I think that the way that we are thinking of the creation is by having two, in our point of view, exponentially different things. So first of all, we don't call it creator, but we call it co-creator. So we truly believe that the behavior, the underneath behavior, right, is shaping, right, which goes in a direction where I alone, yeah, I'm having fun doing something, but what if we create something together? So the co-creation of something, right? The composable assets that you can create together. And when you compose something, right, co-create something that is a talk, that is highly contextual, right? It's not the video or an image, and it's not even a game, immersive experience on a browser, right? But it's the act of you co-creating something that, now gets into point number two, you have the right to place it on top of the real world. Because now you as an end user no longer do something alone and you say, great, you created another game, but you say, hey Romeo, hey Julia, hey Maria, we did it. We together collaborated. And that psychologically fits totally into the needs and behavior of today's generation that want to be together and do things together. Now, instead of the camera being the browser or the phone, the canva becomes the real world. Now you get the right to co-create something, place it and anchor it on top of the real world so that others can discover that. Now the definition of co-creation is truly a more edifying thing of you with others doing something that lives on top of the real world, right? And that leads you to a new dimension. You are the one that is empowered with others to contribute into this new physical digital dimension for others to benefit from. And that's a beautiful thought, right? The thought of you being just focused on a browser or on a phone has been great, and we are again thankful for that. But now we move literally on and open up a new sphere, a metasphere, a meta dimension, a dimension that is physical digital, where you at the right time, at the right place with a group of people are defining, and now it ties back into your first question, a new form of experiences.
Right, right, exactly. And that is where we also go into the third pillar, which is being truly digitally social. Because so far, it has always been the social media. It has never been about social. It's always been about the media. Now it's all about the consumption. And now, for the first time, you're seeing a community where you are actually thriving and co-creating something and having fun, contributing to basically your community and to your area of expertise, or even your area of interest, right?
Yeah, I mean, this sentence, was truly the starting point of Phygital when we started asking ourselves the fundamental questions, right? And that's exactly the one that gave birth to Phygital, which was, what if we have never been digitally social? I said, well, that doesn't make sense because there is social media and there are games, right? And by the way, this is a very understandable thought process, because the human mind always needs to be reflecting about things that they know, and always, because that is not an effort. The brain always avoids, right, to go into a route of, well, wait a second, I now don't need to think ahead, right? And so, yeah, there's social media, but social media became media, and it's not social, because commenting or liking doesn't make me really bond with someone in a group, and it doesn't really create a relationship with them. Oh, wait a second, there is something we have. Or you being in a first shooter game, right? And yes, having headsets on, right? You actually are a gamer and you have adrenaline to play with someone, right? But the purpose of you bonding with others is more of the side effect rather than the first principle of it, right? But what if you have first principle of accepting one thing? We as an entire a generation, we are seeing, and that's a fact, right, that we are more isolated than we have ever been, right? And the essence of it is because we spend a lot of time doom scrolling. Oh, what? It's already 8 p.m. and it's doom scroll 2 hours. Or we spend 20, 30, 40 hours on average. By the way, these are statistic gaming. So where remains the time for you to
Yeah.
socialize, right? So this is exactly how we physically, digitally allow to socialize, is by combining three main ingredients, Romeo. Number one, you need to go out there, right? But without losing the benefits and the fun of the digital world. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's physical plus digital. All right. Second thing is, and now you see how these three topics that you were phenomenally asking, right? They are all together. Second point is, you shift from a behavior of you doing something towards we do something. So we put the we back in the social. Oh, wow, that sounds actually. We put the we back in the social. We do, we accomplish, we create, we meet, we build. Oh, wow. Now you do group activities, right? Again, physical, digital, group activities. And what is it you do? And that's the pillar number three, highly creative and highly playful. By the way, I use consciously the verb, the adjective playful, because it's not gamification. It's not gaming. Gaming is when you categorize yourself as, I am a gamer, but only 20% of Gen Z and Gen Alpha say themselves that they are a gamer. When is something playful versus something that is a gaming? It's something is playful when your intentionality, the intention that you have behind it, surprises you, right? So if you're in front of a desktop with your headset and with your keyboard and your mouse, that's an intention for you to play. But if you walk down the street, right, and you encounter something physical, digital with a group of people there, that surprises you. That's the wow moment, right? And that's when it becomes the experience. That's when something was not expected, and the unexpected becomes the wow, and that wow is playful. Does it make sense, right? And these are the three ingredients basically on how you truly foster community across the physical digital world in the near future. And that's what we stand for at
Love
Vision.
it, love it. Yeah, I mean, this very closely resembles how the actual human experience is, instead of just randomly consuming content in different forms and file formats. So yeah, look, this feels like all of it is connected by one single thread. You just stumble onto one topic and then you just keep rediscovering one after the other, right? So yeah, as
Absolutely.
always, Tommaso, thanks for your time, and everyone who has been watching. Thank you. Go join Vyry.world. Would love to see you there, and I will love to have you become one of our co